myFlashStore.net, the internet's #1 beat marketplace.
My name is Mike Lightner. I'm a music producer and I'm also an online entrepreneur. Kind of have a few different online businesses, but my main one is music, selling beats online, and also helping producers sell their beats online. I first got started back in high school, making beats just for fun with my friends and, rapping, freestyling. And ended up being in a band in like my senior year of high school. I was playing bass guitar. I used to just make beats for fun, and then over time I kind of had a lot of beats in my catalog, and I never really thought that I was gonna sell the beats, but I first just got started with music just because it was something fun to do, just make music, and it's something to do with my friends. I think my biggest inspirations are probably my family, and also my dad is into music. When I hear music and I hear something that's new or really cool, I kind of want to replicate it or see if I can do it as well. It's kind of like a challenge to be able to make different types of music and branch out and just try to create something that's new and that's never been done before. When I go to make a new beat, I usually always start with just the drum, the kick and the snare. I usually just keep the kick and the snare going for 5 minutes and just play a bunch of piano, and then I re-listen to it and just see if there's anything cool in there that kind of stands out. So I really just like that creative process of just kind of just playing something totally random, and then whatever comes out, and then listening back to it, and then once I have something that seems oh, that could be a cool idea, then I kind of build off that and keep going from there. There's three things. There's the computer, the MIDI keyboard, and then also studio monitors. I think the day that I decided to invest in a good pair of studio monitors was the day that kind of took all my beats to the next level. Just because it opened up, before making beats on just the normal stock monitors on my computer. I've probably made hundreds of beats before I ever got a pair of studio monitors, and then those, you just hear so much more. It's you open up into a whole new world of sound that you didn't know about, and you go back and tweak all your beats and you use better panning and use EQ to really make them sound much cleaner and better. So I used the M Audio monitors for a long time, and then also Yamaha monitors too have really good clean sound, and then just having a fast computer. There's nothing worse than just making beats on a slow computer. Probably lost a bunch of beats over the years just from having a computer crash while making one. You can never go wrong with spending more time creating beats, just because I've learned over the years that there's so much value in having a big catalog of beats, and it's always gonna help you in the future. So sometimes I think a lot of producers, especially producers starting out, they get too excited about promotion and building followers and building social media and building a whole marketing strategy. But really, the beats and the quality of your music, that's what powers everything. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. So, and sometimes I think the stuff that you learn from marketing, it kind of takes a while, and sometimes you stumble, and sometimes you hit these roadblocks, and you might kind of go in circles sometimes, but if you're always making beats, it's like, and you're creating these like pieces of art, creating pieces of music that are truly unique, no one can ever take that away from you. Like, you can just keep growing that catalog of music, and you might not even know how much value is in there. You might, like 5 years down the road, you might be like, oh, I guess I'll submit my catalog of 200 beats that I've been making to, this website or to this company, and someone hears something in there that they really like, and it might be really good for you. So I would say, just to give like a specific number, I've heard some people say 50% of time being creative and 50% of time focusing on business. If you're just starting out, I would say focus more time on the music and really getting your music to a level that's competitive. And there's so many other producers out there that are doing the same thing and making music. So if everyone spends like just a small amount of time making music and then a lot of time promoting it, there's just going to be a lot of poor quality music out there, and it's not you're not going to really stand out. So I think it's really smart to focus more time, so maybe like 60 or 70% of your time on just making beats, like making beats all day long, if you have time for it, and then also learning about the business side of things too, but not stressing out about the marketing. If you want to be a producer, you can always find assistants, or you can always find other people who are interested in marketing or promotion or different sides of the business. So it depends on what you really see yourself doing. I think I stay motivated just because the feeling of freedom that you get from being your own boss, and also doing something that you enjoy is that feeling versus the feeling of going to work at a job that you don't like, and it's extremely stressful and time consuming. Just the difference between those two things, if you've experienced both of those, I think that's huge motivation to stay on the path that is more it feels more rewarding, and you feel a lot more. I just think you feel more pride in what you do if you're kind of like, I'm coming up with these ideas, and I'm gonna pave my own way, and so that's really what keeps me motivated. You have to be extremely patient and also disciplined and consistent in what you do. And I know those are like the very broad qualities, but they're extremely important because when you get into online beat selling, I think a lot of people think that it's going to be kind of like you just put all your beats up there and then things are going to start happening, but in reality it's not like that. You'll learn that people want new content all the time. So the producers that are succeeding, they're the ones who are always adapting, and they're always kind of making their client base happy. And that's going to change over time, and that's what takes a lot of patience and a lot of you have to stay like, keep your ear to everything, like know what your customers are saying, talk to them in emails. And also there's a lot of things that I don't see producers surveying or kind of going to just going and like meeting up with other producers and like talking about things. There's ways that you can there's really good ways to get information about what the customers want, and that's just massive, because the worst thing you can do is kind of be in a state of like ignorance and just like, oh, I'm just gonna make beats all the time and just like upload them to my site, and if you think that that's gonna work maybe if it's working at the current moment, it might not work next year. Like, things are changing all the time, like especially with technology, and seeing things happen over the course of the last 10 years that I've been online. Is just smartphones and all these different things. Like, some sites are really popular, and then you could be selling your beats on MySpace or selling your beats on SoundClick. Then all of a sudden things change, and then everyone's using another website. And so I think the key to succeeding online is to think long term, because if you're in the short term and you try a few things out and you kind of it doesn't work out, that just might be a phase. That just might be a short phase. But I've learned that over the long term, if you stay patient and disciplined, and you're like, I really want to do this. This is what I want to do with my life. Then you can succeed at it. But there's gonna be in order to be successful, you have to be willing to overcome obstacles. That's like massive. If you're the type of person that, like, all of a sudden there's an obstacle and it like freaks you out and you don't want to like confront it, then being an entrepreneur online and selling beats online might not be for you. But yeah, I think if you're willing to, if you are willing to like see an obstacle and really get excited to overcome it, then that's you're gonna have a lot of success. Probably the first day that I decided, me and my friend decided, like, we're gonna do this. At least we're gonna try to build a beat selling business. That was just this massive kind of like breakthrough moment of like, all right, do we want to try to do something cool for a living, and do we want to try to like get paid for doing something that we enjoy? And it was kind of like a very hard decision. Like, we're not going to make any money at first. It's going to be really tough. We're going to have to figure a lot of things out. I didn't know much about business when I first started my beat selling website. It was more just like throwing everything together and being like, here's our beats. If anyone likes them, then please get in contact with us. And the next biggest moment was when I first sold my first beat, exclusive rights. That feeling of like, someone wants to buy a beat for more than it was only a couple $100s for one beat. This was like about 10 years ago though, so the leasing thing was not really very popular yet. And after selling that one beat, it was just like an amazing feeling of like, I can do this. And from that moment on, it was like, my music it's kind of validated, everything for me, that like my music was good enough that someone enjoyed it, or someone wanted to use the music that I created for their project. And just that feeling, like, from then on, you're never gonna like go back to think that people aren't gonna like your music after that, because it's like that huge win right there. That's like that's like a massive success that you can't take away. So I think that was probably the most pivotal moment. Like, selling that first beat, sending it off on like a CD in the mail to someone with like a license, like it's super old school way to do it. And then like probably living off that, using that money to live off for like the next month. Because it was slow at first. It wasn't like, you weren't selling beats all the time when you're first starting out. So each time you make a sale, it feels really good. As a producer, I think what makes me stand out is just being myself and being my just kind of unique, weird self. Like, when I go to make beats, a lot of times, especially when I was first starting out, I didn't really get the fact that like people want certain types of music. I was so into my own world of making beats, and a lot of times I still do it, where I make beats just without even thinking about like is this a Drake type beat, or is this, because a lot of producers, they've learned that a huge part of our audience, of the people that are like buying beats, they want to sound a certain way. They really like a certain type of music. Maybe it's because of a geographic location, or maybe because it's like this, they just love one artist. And so I think that's what drives a lot of producers when they go to make beats. They don't copy. Some people copy other producers, but it's more of just following the trends of what other things are successful. Whereas myself, especially, you know, when I was making a lot of my beats in the beginning, I would just go in and completely make something from scratch that might not even have like a verse, chorus. It might not fit into any genre. And one of the really cool things that I've found was a few of my beats that have sold the most. One of them is just basically me playing piano and a little bit of drums and not much else to the whole. It's kind of just like this. It's not really you know, the typical beat that you would think would sell, but the uniqueness, I think, is what sets me apart as a producer. Just kind of like willing to take risks. Like, I used to joke around with my other producer friends, like they would spend like 3 days working on one beat and just like perfecting it, and I would make, you know, 2 beats every day, just because I'd want to just come up with ideas, like, and knowing that not every one of them was going to be a good idea, or not every beat that I came up with was going to be something that was going to sell, but some of them will be. Some of them, you know, people will like. There's kind of 2 big different things that I think you should do. One is to go where you know for sure the customers are. So like if you go online and you go to like YouTube and you look in the comments on other people's beats, you'll see like, where can I buy this beat? And so you know on YouTube there are potential customers. Now the other way to go about it would be go where no one else is. Go where you think there might be customers, but the other producers aren't like there, you know? So like I would say, and if you find a place, you know, there's so many websites. You think about like different communities, different blogs, different networks online, just whatever it might be. You can find something that is like almost like a hidden gem. It's like a place, you know, like if it's a community website online that's not very popular, and there's a bunch of artists that use that website, or a bunch of YouTube channels that use it, you know, there's a good chance that they need beats. There's a good chance that they need music. So I would say, you know, obviously there's those two different ways to go about it. And I would say use both. You know, use Google, use YouTube, use Facebook, use, you know, those big established sites that it's like, it's almost obvious, you know, there's customers there. You just have to compete more on the, excuse me. Those sites you're going to have to compete a lot more, right? Just because of all the other producers. But, you know, you're not going to doubt that there are customers there, because, you know, there are. And then, you know, spend some of your time kind of like getting really creative. And that's where your marketing brain has to kick in and be like, how am I going to find these little other sites too where there's no competition, you know, because there's a lot of producers are just gonna do what's easy and what's kind of like what's popular. So they're gonna upload their beats and submit them to like a few sites and really try to fight it out on Google, and like, oh, I gotta rank high in Google. But there's other search engines, there's other communities, there's other places too. So I'd spend some of your time trying to find your new customers there. First part, you have to just be like a really kind and open and good person to start. You know, there's nothing worse than in business if you're selfish and getting annoyed when people email you and not being generous. Like, as a business owner and someone who's like providing a service to a customer, like, your job is basically to help them. And I would say the biggest thing at first is just to work on yourself and work on like those qualities that they might not come easy at first. And especially if you're getting lots of emails all the time and people are like asking you for free beats all the time. I mean, that's a huge problem that producers have. You start to get almost like angry at your own customers, and that's like the last thing that you want to be. You don't want to be resentful or angry at your customers. You want to be grateful for them. So that's the first part. Like, if someone talks to you or emails you or calls you on the phone, be a nice person, be a good person, be honest, and that it'll end up coming back to you in the long run, and that's something that everyone should work at. Now, more specifically, like, have an email list. That's huge. Email list and personally, I think that is like way better than anything else. Like, Twitter followers or Instagram followers are cool and definitely helps out, but I think if you have an email list and you can just send out blast to your returning customers and let them know that you have new beats or that you have some sort of a special going on, or you just could reach out to all your fans and just ask them to like kind of give you feedback on your new beats, or you could even have contests or whatever it is. That's how you maintain relationships. You have to think about communication and how are you going to communicate with all the people who are using your music. And so you do that through email lists, through having Facebook fans, through having Twitter followers, and just being yourself, be honest, and help them out. Be grateful for your customers. To put your beats up onto as many platforms as you can, and that's something that I really wish that I would have done from the beginning. And like, just really don't be afraid to put your beats out there. And some of the platforms that are out there now, it really encourages sharing. So like, say for instance on YouTube, sometimes if you just put your music up on YouTube, it can get shared by people, and a lot more people might listen to it than you think. I think putting your music everywhere, that's a huge marketing tip. And also another marketing tip is don't be afraid to spend money and to kind of like experiment. Sometimes it's really scary to like spend money on something when you don't really know what the results are going to be. But again, like I said before, if that's too scary for you to do and you're not willing to take those risks, then again, like being an entrepreneur online is a long and it's kind of there's always learning that's going to have to happen. So with that in mind, like there's gonna be lots of these times where you kind of have to take risks and sometimes you fail, but that's actually a great learning experience. Because if I put $100 into this marketing and I get no results and I don't get any return on my investment, that's a huge lesson for me. I could use that lesson in all the other things that I do. I can be like, oh, maybe it was just that site that didn't work, or maybe my strategy or the advertisement or something that I made was like not the way to go about it. So I like to take risks every day and just especially with my marketing, just be really creative. And I always it's kind of like part of my daily routine. Like if you were going to make beats every day and then also do your customer service every day and like have little chunks of time, personally, I have like creative time, like kind of like just scheme strategy, like think whiteboard time, because if you think about it, all these other producers are putting beats out too. And in some way, it's awesome, but when it comes down to it, producers are kind of competitors. If there's too many producers and too many beats, then it's going to be harder for your voice to be heard and harder for your beats to get seen by people. And your goal is to have your beats be heard by more people. So what you really want to do is take that creative time and that creative energy and be like, how am I going to push through the noise and have my beats kind of be heard? And really all you need to do is take a unique angle, do something that is truly unique, whatever it might be, make really interesting advertisements, or you can learn a lot from just seeing what you on commercials or what you see on TV. Like these big businesses, they do crazy viral like ad campaigns, and they have really humorous jokes and things to just make themselves be heard. And I think a lot of online producers get stuck in the monotonous grind of just like, okay, there's this site and this site. I gotta make beats every day, upload my beats to this site and this site, and then like pay for this one promotion. But it's so much bigger than that. Like, that's why I always like to keep my mind open, and then like every day there's this specific time for just like, okay, how can I reach more new people in a different way that no one else is doing? And you just kind of build that muscle, and the more you do it, it might be hard at first. You might feel like, well, I don't know where to start, but the more you do it, the easier it gets, just like anything. So I started JeeJuh.com with my friend about 10 years ago in 2006. We co-founded it. We both were making lots of beats at the time, and we both had been into computer programming for a long time. So it just seemed like that was going to be the best idea for a way that we could make money and kind of, just get out of the grind, the daily 9 to 5, which is that's pretty much what inspired the whole thing for me, why I got onto online business. I actually first started doing websites a long time ago, back in 1999. I worked for a startup company. I was only a teenager, but that kind of got me interested in it. And then I started, going to computer camps and different things like that, just to kind of learn about it. And it was fascinating. But once we started JeeJuh.com, we kind of had built up a bunch of beats. So we had a catalog. And, me and my business partner, we had experience with websites and with coding. So it wasn't like we were starting from scratch. We knew nothing about business, but we had a lot of tools and a lot of like knowledge. But the main thing that inspired JeeJuh.com, which is my beat selling website, and now an amazing team of producers. Shout out to all the JeeJuh producers. It's just, what inspired it in the beginning was just this desire to be my own boss, and to do something that I love doing, and to get paid for it, because at the end of the day, everyone kind of has to support themselves and support your family. So might as well find something that you enjoy doing, and especially something that, if you have a natural talent, I would say that it's almost your duty to use that talent and to help other people with that talent. So that was kind of like the perfect fit. And yeah, so that's how it happened. I partnered up with myFlashStore to offer coaching and tutorial videos and consultations with producers who are looking to sell their beats online, or just starting out selling beats, or already making money selling beats online but looking to improve marketing or to take their business to the next level. So I partnered up with myFlashStore, and now offer both a monthly subscription to access to a bunch of tutorial videos. I think there's over 100 videos already, and I'm adding more to that. It's like just this big catalog of private videos. So I have a few videos on YouTube that help teach producers, basic tips, basic tricks about selling beats, and how to price their beats and how to get started. And but the private videos, it goes way more in depth into like different little specific things, how to build an email list, how to how to get more views on YouTube, just more specific tips that I don't put those videos up on YouTube. The ones on YouTube are free, and then these ones are kind of like a more, it's like a private community of producers. So there's even a forum in there. So that's the myFlashStore University, and partnered with my website, Sell Beats Like a Pro. And basically we're just trying to help producers and help more producers get started selling beats online, because for me, it's almost like I really feel so strongly about how selling beats online has changed my life and has given me so much freedom. So it's like a big part of me that I need to also help other producers. If you feel like you want to do this, then I really want to help you sell your music and get paid for doing what you love to do. There's a lot of stuff you can learn from watching tutorial videos. There's things that you might not even know about that it will hugely benefit your business. And then talking to them on the phone, talking to a producer on the phone, one-on-one is can even be like way more valuable, just because there could be like this one little thing that you're not doing right, or there could be something that you're not thinking about, and just having someone else to talk to and to like look at your business, kind of like take a step back and look at it from a different perspective. That's sort of what I offer. And like I'm a pretty busy person. Like I'm running multiple online businesses, and myFlashStore is a great service, but the people who are running myFlashStore are also very busy. So the cool thing about the online consultations is it kind of like gives you it's a way for me to personally connect with producers and be like, all right, you've been stuck on something for a while, or you have certain goals and you want to reach them. Like, how can we hash out like an action plan really quick? So just an hour-long talk on the phone can give a producer just huge amount of information and specific information too, like about exactly their business, and try to help them achieve their goals, because there's only so much I can do in a tutorial video. I can't target people who are someone's just starting out is going to need different advice than someone who's been on selling beats online for like 2 years versus 5 years. So yeah. I started Sell Beats Like a Pro a few years back. It was originally an ebook that I just had this. I was getting so many emails from other producers because of my website, JeeJuh.com. A lot of producers would ask me, how do you do this? How do you rank in Google? How do you, because they would see the success of our website. And so I was like answering these emails every day. And I think, someone told me once, like, if you keep answering the emails every day, you're going to keep basically answering the same question over and over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, but it's helping these people. Like they really like doing it, they really like the information that I'm giving them. And then there's kind of like a moment that just clicked. It's like, if you record a video and answer one question, then everyone can just watch that same video, and you don't have to not waste your time, but spend time saying the same thing over again. So it started off Sell Beats Like a Pro started off as an ebook that kind of just taught producers the basics of selling beats online, and also some little tricks about, you know, ranking in Google, different things. And tons of people got it, and I got lots of good feedback about it. And then that turned into what it is now, is just a membership site with a monthly membership. And it's a bunch of videos. They're just like tutorial videos, and you know, and there's also a little forum in there, so you can post questions in there and interact with other producers. I work with a lot of producers who use myFlashStore for their entire business. That's their beat store. And so, like, it kind of solved the big problem that a lot of producers were having, where they were sending out manual beat downloads every time someone would purchase their beats. And I think myFlashStore, the combination of having that automated beat selling process, and also the fact that myFlashStore is always updating and changing, and a lot of other websites don't update as often and don't listen to the users and adapt to, you know, changing technology. That's what makes myFlashStore, in my opinion, the best beat selling system, or beat selling music player. You know, the dashboard, like, in your account has so many different things you can look at, like the stats and the amount of information that you can get about, like, you know, what are my best selling beats, how many plays, and, you know, you can look at these little graphs that just, that's the kind of data that, you know, producers need to know those things and have them. I mean, there's ways that you could do it, like, manually, you know, like keep track of everything in an Excel spreadsheet or something else, but myFlashStore kind of simplifies that whole process, and that makes it really cool for producers, because I think the main thing producers struggle with is time. You know, there's not enough time in the day to do everything that they want to do. They want to make beats, promote beats, customer service, and then also they want to reach out and, like, form partnerships. And so the more time that you know, producers can have, the better. And I think that's what myFlashStore really does for people selling beats, is just saves them a lot of time and provides these cool tools. And it's like they're updating so often, you know, it's like, well, what cool tool or what cool little thing are they going to come out with next that's going to, you know, help simplify things and help, you know, just really get the beat selling more automated and more efficient. And that allows producers to spend more time working on their music, that's great. Right now, with my business, I'm just, you know, continuing to learn every day and to grow. I love the relationships that I've been able to make from selling beats online and from just all the online projects that I do. I think the greatest thing is to form partnerships with other people, and things start to happen. And that's really, you know, where I'm going with my business, is just like looking at different opportunities. And now that we're more established, I get emails from people that are reaching out and want to, you know, partner up or, like, collaborate on different ideas. And so that's really what makes it fun for me, is just being creative and working with other people. For instance, partnering with myFlashStore, or, you know, having partnerships with more producers, and having growing the team of JeeJuh producers, and, you know, working with graphic designers. That's just, to me, that's where it's going, and just keep trying to provide value and to help people, and to learn more about online business. And there's always more to learn about, and that, to me, that's what makes it fun. It's fun to wake up every day and to be like, okay, like, what else is going on now? Like, what can I learn about? And also just to stick with it. I think doing it in the long term makes it way better, because when you're just starting out, it's hard to kind of like send out emails to people. Like, you want to reach out and form partnerships, and then their first question is kind of like, well, who are you? What have you done? Like, how much have you established yourself, or why would I trust you? And the more that you kind of stay in the same market, and the more that you establish yourself, whether it be a beat maker, or whether it be an online business person, or a sound designer, whatever it might be, the more that you get under your belt, then the more people are going to actually want to work with you. So when those wheels get turning, and if you, like I said before, if you're patient enough and you have discipline and you're consistent with what you're doing, opportunities will start to open up for you. And I think that's what a lot of the successful producers are learning, and I've learned, is that it's kind of a long road, and it takes time to learn about music. It takes time to learn about all these different things. But if you stay with it, then when you reach out, like let's say you're sending out a bunch of emails to like try to form a partnership with someone, or try to like if you go to call up a bunch of people and you're like, oh, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've worked with like this industry artist and this guy. It's just going to help you. Builds a lot of trust and credibility. Oh man, huge. Selling beats online has definitely changed my life a lot. The freedom to travel, the freedom to like, see different countries, or to work on a laptop, or, wherever there's an internet connection, you can basically run your business. There's so many freedoms, like, especially if you wake up in the morning and, you get to just make music. That's an amazing feeling. Being someone who just loves music, and I get so much enjoyment out of creating music, that doesn't seem like work to me at all. There's parts of it that seem like work to me, but for the most part, there's so much freedom and from selling beats online, and it's changed my life. I mean, the first step is like getting all your bills paid and just being able to support yourself. And once I was able to do that from selling beats, then it's like, move on to the next, like keep trying to grow with it, and see where I can go with it. It's just an amazing amount of freedom, and I think that's what so many people are looking for, and that's what really makes so many people want to get into selling their beats, and especially selling their beats online. Because I grew up, for instance, short story, I actually started my online business on a dial-up modem with a terrible internet connection, and I grew up in like the countryside, where I didn't really have access to much, and by just having an internet connection, for a lot of people, they don't have a ton of options, but if all you need is an internet connection, then that kind of levels the entire playing field. You can start a business from anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You could be in the middle of nowhere. You could be someone who just works on a laptop, and you can. It gives you it's so much freedom to kind of like work from whatever situation you are. People used to ask me like, well, how are you a producer? You don't live in a big city. You're not driving to the studio all the time to work with artists. I'm like, yeah, but I sell beats online. I make beats in my home studio. I upload them to the internet, and people buy them, and I get money through, my PayPal into my bank account. And so it kind of, it creates this own little system for you that it depends on, if you're the type of person that likes to to work from home and to like kind of be in your own zone, like this is perfect for you. Selling beats online is definitely perfect for that, like that type of personality, and it fits me. So I've just, you know, that worked out great for me. Learn as much as you can, and you know, read books, watch tutorial videos. There's so much that you can learn, and I don't think people take that learning part seriously enough. I feel like, you know, a lot of online producers might want to get into selling beats online to kind of like take this shortcut, or like kind of like skip the traditional way of going about it, like, you know, whether that's going to school or, you know, becoming an apprentice and like working your way up, whatever that might be. There's a lot of information that you can learn online, and especially if you go ask, you know, other people who are successful for like some tips or advice, or like what books have helped them, or what has like taught them a bunch. I think that would be my number one tip for someone just starting out. You know, be patient, make beats every day, make sure you're putting your beats up onto all the platforms you can. Like, really don't forget about any platform. Upload all your beats to YouTube, to SoundCloud. You will get feedback on your beats, and that's so valuable. And especially, you know, a lot of the platforms are free to upload, so there's no like investment. And people starting out, they usually don't have a big budget, so you want to upload your beats to everywhere that you can that's like as cheap as possible, because then you get free feedback on your beats, and that's going to help, you know, direct you on where you need to go, what you need to change, you know, how you can make better music that, you know, more people enjoy. And then also, you know, you might just start selling beats out of nowhere. A lot of people on YouTube and SoundCloud are looking to buy beats, and they, you know, the fact that you can upload to them for free and then you can potentially get a customer, maybe it's slow at first, but to me, that's like the hugest return on your investment that you could ever dream of. It's like, you know, it's like free marketing. So definitely take advantage of that.